Welcome to Beyond the Borders podcast.
where every story is a journey and every journey is an inspiration.
Beyond the Borders is all about highlighting the incredible cross-cultural stories that exist in our communities.
We want to provide a platform for their story to shine because they are so important in today's world.
These stories not only celebrate the diversity of human experience,
But also foster empathy, understanding, and connection.
Our mission here is to amplify these voices, so stick around and join us as we explore these stories throughout the season. Hey everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Borders podcast. We're very excited to be joining you. I'm Natalie, I'm your host for today, and with me I have Rosie and Josue, my co-hosts. In the studio, we have Senska, Matt Shirley O'Donnell, formerly Jean, joining us, and we're very excited to be with you. So Senska, I'll pass it over to you to just briefly introduce yourself.
Well, hi everyone. Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Senska O'Donnell, formerly Jean. And I am the co-founder of Women for Voice. It's a 3 years old organization. It's a startup nonprofit, we say, and I'm here to talk about my journey, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Senska, for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you. Your story always inspiring, and we spoke couple times, and I've been to a couple of your events, but I just wanted to understand, your journey more. So what brought you to Denver, and how that journey started?
Denver. So I went to study agricultural engineer in Costa Rica. And during my time there, during my undergrad, I had to do an internship. And I ended up getting an internship in Denver and Platteville. And I fell in love with Denver. It was so beautiful to see the mountain. And then they started snowing. It was my first time seeing snow. Then I remember after I graduated, I wanted to come back to Colorado. And then I got a post-internship, came to Colorado, and I met my husband. And I've been here since then. Yeah.
And how long ago was that? How many years have you been here?
7 years now. I just can't believe this. It's just like it's flying.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
And you mentioned your transition. So from Haiti. So you were in Dominican Republic,
No, so Haiti, then Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. So we're in Costa Rica, and now in Denver. So you've been to different places. So
Yeah.
culturally, what was something that struck out to you when you were in Costa Rica and now in the U.S. But what was some of the thing that similarity wise to Haiti, or things that were totally new to you too? So
And I wanted to just tack on to that question too of similarities and differences, and also coming from an all-black country where everybody's black, right? And blackness is normal, to where it's not something you have to talk about, but then here where blackness in a lot of ways is abnormal, and it becomes something you have to talk about at that point. So what was that also like?
Yes. I think from Haiti, I would say we are so accepting of everyone. We just know everyone gonna be different. So you coming from wherever country, you would do something, and we in our culture that's bad, we just say oh, they are from there, because that's normal in your country. But Costa Rica, I didn't understand racism during my time in Costa Rica. Obviously, I experienced it, but when you don't understand it and don't know what's happening, you normally just dismiss it or find another reason why it happened, which is what we normally do in Haiti. And coming to America, with the diversity of different people from different countries, what struck me the most is really the generosity of the Indian people, the natives. Them knowing that's my land and hiding, and not hiding, but taking a piece of that land just for you. For me, that's a generosity of the Indian people, the natives. And that's what I love the most about the story of America, beyond just, everything ugly that's happening here. In the similarity, I would say it's just so hard to say it, because I say every country, it's one person, it's a person in the world, because they are so different. You'll find similarities in some things. I would say Costa Rica, what would I say? It's With Haiti and Costa Rica, I think like I can see how they praise the white people. Everything from the white people is good. Everything from the white people is what's like supposed to be normal or what we have to follow. Like school, for example, you have to do university, school, and all of this. They all were created by white people, but if you don't have that, you're not like a professional or you're not like a smart person or whatever things, you know, like it's just that's the similarity I see like from Haiti and Costa Rica. But like Costa Rica and United States, I would say like the racism, the way they see black people, the way they understand black people. But it's also like another thing about like the media, how they really reinforce the preconception of us as black people. So it's so much different things when you go and see it. It's very different. Like the world we live in, I see it very different than the world I thought I was living in. You know?
And I think too, just to on your point of like the things that you love about America or like the history of America, right? Like the fact that, and I think that's a parallel that can be drawn amongst all of us sitting here in terms of colonialism and imperialism, and not to get too much into that conversation because that's a whole nother conversation, right? But like even in how you said like the indigenous people that were already here, like they did take in the colonists when they came.
Yes.
And they did kind of say, okay, we'll show you our ways and we'll show you how we do things, only for those people to then turn around and like kill them all. And like all these things. So it's a really interesting perspective that you have about like that generosity, because I think that that's the point that's not really ever talked about, you know, or mentioned. And I think even in like the histories of like all of our countries that like also had colonialism, it was kind of like a very similar history of like people came to our countries and our land and also said like, oh, we have these things to share with you, and we're also like, yeah, we'll share with you, and the next thing you know, we're all backstabbed, and then I mean that's how Haitians ended up as Haitians, like you know, it's like
being in America,
yeah,
you know,
like all of these
crazy
things. So it's just it's really interesting. But I wanted to also talk a little bit about Haiti in general, especially in the time that we're in right now where Haiti is in the news and there are a lot of things going on with Haiti and people have maybe all of these kind of preconceived notions about Haiti. I would really love to hear your perspective, especially as somebody who is currently on the ground, like doing work in Haiti, you know. I'd love to hear what you want people to know about Haiti and what you kind of want to maybe debunk from what you see living in the diaspora, living in America, and watching, you know, being said about your country when you literally just got back from Haiti yesterday. You know what I mean? So what do you want people to know?
I think what I want people to know is like, you can't learn about a country from people who know nothing about the country. The media here is so sure about when they're talking about Haiti, which is something that enraged me, which I hate saying because I don't like feeling angry, because you guys are killing tourism in my country. And there are people that used to live off of that. And now like you can see like the poverty line, like they are part of like, you know, the poverty line now, like, you know, they're poor, let's say, because they have nothing coming in. And the amount they used to get in because they were maintaining a lifestyle, even though that money is not coming in, they are trying to maintain it. And that's something that is really affecting the people in the country. When you say like the chaos happening in Haiti, for me, that's half true. Because Port-au-Prince is not Haiti. Port-au-Prince is a city in Haiti. And Port-au-Prince is like so small, you know, and then you're just saying Haiti and people don't want to go. My husband and I, we just went and he's white, right? Let's talk about this, right? And like when he was going the first time, he said, I was about to poop myself when this plane was landing, you know? Because in his mind, as soon as he's landing, he's going to be looking at the gun, you know, in his face. And I think the first time he heard a gunshot, like since he's been going since 2020, he's been going, was in January 1st this year. Because January 1st, like as soon as it's midnight, people start shooting in the air. That was the first time he heard that in Haiti, right? So it's not what the media are saying because they know nothing about Haiti. The diaspora, I appreciate my diaspora, like Haitian, my fellow Haitians. I love them and I admire them, right? Now, at the same time, like you can't be speaking about Haiti based like what other people that are not even from Haiti, you're talking about Haiti like this. You should be going to your land, reconnecting with your people, be part of the community, understanding the people, and, you know, and be part of that change. But like, they are so hopeless for the country. They are so hopeless. Like our people can change. Our people cannot be part of the modern world because accepting it or not, Haiti, we're still living like, I would say not primitive, but like very much like the U.S. was in the 1900 or 1800, I can't even say, right? But like, we're so happy. Like, one of the reason, I'm saying I'm moving back is one of the reasons, because like, it's too much.
Yeah.
Like, you can't slow down here. It's like one after another, you have to be paying your bills. And then the individualism, it's crazy. But Haiti, for me, it's a communal place. It's people being together. We are definitely not a country that is hungry. We're definitely not hungry. That's not true. There's not one time I go to Haiti and the remote areas, I'm not going back to my home with a bag of food in my bag. How come we are hungry if there is so much food? We don't have infrastructure to move the food in the country, but we are definitely not a hungry country.
Yeah.
So it's not the Haiti they talk about. That's not the Haiti I know.
Right.
I really appreciate what you said, and people listening, people watching. It's really important what Senska is saying. It's really important to learn about a country. It doesn't matter if you don't know anything about the country. You're watching the news, or you're watching wherever it's talking about YouTube or Instagram or whatever. Please, take your time to learn. Take your time. Take the risk to go and see on the ground what is happening on the ground. But you said something that is really interesting, and that thing has been part of most of our podcast interview here. We talk about individualism and communal society. So can you expand on that more? What is life in Haiti, coming from a very communal society, transitioning into an individualistic society? How was that for you?
It was very hard and confusing, because like I didn't understand why like my neighbors, they see me and they're rushing to not say hi, because my neighbors, they are seeking to say hi. They are looking for you to say, hi, like, how are you? How was your day? And they'll find a way to make you smile, even if the day was heavy. You will at least smile as you're walking into your house. Like, people will just say, I just went back in Haiti. I had a very hard day because we went to plant those trees, and I had to talk to different partners, preparing a bunch of things, and I was exhausted at the end of the day. And like, I was working it, and there were like 5 different children. They were calling me Zamam. Zamam means my friend, and I was just smiling the whole time. Then my neighbor goes like, oh, I'm so happy to see your smile. And I've never heard like people just focusing on you being so serious and just be focusing on going, you feel like you're on autopilot here. And like, and the individualism really in America comes from like the amount of bills that people have. They have to focus on paying their bills because they have to keep on moving, their life continues. So like, if I have to pay my bill, I can't reach out to that person and say, hey, can you help me out? Because they also have to pay their bills. So therefore, everyone has to be focusing on themselves. But like in Haiti, I have a problem. I can reach out to someone and they'll be giving me that thing for free. Because like money is not the key in Haiti, but here in a capitalist country, the money is the key, right? So like, and for me, like, I'm just like, I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Like I'm like 7 years has gone by too fast. Like I don't even realize, like being here for so long. I worked, now I'm working for myself, or let's say for my community I'm working for. But when I used to work here, like for the companies as an engineer, and I was working in these food things and all of that, I've never been this sad in my life. Like, because everyone is moving along, they're just getting the work done. It's a job, right? Because they have to get that money to pay for their things. Meanwhile, me, I'm used to doing something because I'm happy and I'm loving what I'm doing. And focusing on doing what I was doing in the engineering field, you're trying to improve things. You're like, no, but that's not okay. You have to do it this way to make it better. People would find it like you're making their job harder.
Yeah.
You're right. So like, and it's beyond than just like, being individualistic, but it's also like, being able to pay their bills.
Yeah.
It's just like, and I love taking my time to be analyzing. You'll find me sitting here just be thinking, right?
Yeah.
Because I like understanding what I'm dealing with. And I've realized like the US is not for me, right?
Yeah.
Like I've taken what I can take because they took too much from home.
Yeah.
So I'm coming to take what I can take. And I don't think I took enough, being honest.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think I took enough, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's time for me to go because my mental health is way better, like way more important than for me.
So I wanted to follow up too on what you said about going back to Haiti, right? I think that a lot of Americans have an idea that when people come to America, they're so happy to be here. There's this idea, which has been another thread that we've seen throughout all of our episodes of like people who've come here as immigrants, as refugees, as asylum seekers. They've all been met with that comment about, wow, like, where are you from? I'm from this place. Oh, wow, you must be so happy that you're here now.
Yeah.
And and so I think that that's such an interesting perspective for Americans to have, one. Because I think that, like you said, lack of exposure kind of can make you feel like everybody else is quote unquote primitive, or everybody else is not as developed as we are. And so because of that, we must have it the best here because they don't have
And what
all
is
of this
developed?
development, you know?
What is developed?
Who
Planting
determines
blocks.
development
That's kind of what I
standards?
say, right?
Yeah. And so talk to us a little bit about your life in Haiti before you came here, your upbringing, how you grew up, like what your life was like before you came here. And then a little bit about, I mean, you've talked to us about your life here. And so just kind of re-emphasize for us why you're now like, okay, I need to go back to the life that I had before this. Yeah.
I think like, growing up, well, I left Haiti like at 19 years old, so I wasn't even independent. So it was all the burden were on my parents, right? So my life there were more like, I would say like I was feeling free. It was normal to be me. It was okay to be Black. It was okay to think different, right? And that's what I'm seeking, right? I'm looking for like me being okay to be me being okay to still not understanding a part of me, like me being okay with who I am and understanding like, okay, I have these that I have to change, that I can be a better person. And like, when you are in Haiti, like people don't mind for you to have like these issues, like, or I would say not quality. What would be that word? I'm sorry for my English right now. The bad threats that you have in you, right? Your weaknesses, let's say. People in Haiti are okay with that. And you don't mind supporting you to be like, hey, you're going back to that attitude, right? They don't mind telling you this. But here, when you do that, you're criticized, you're judged, like they expect you to be perfect. They expect you to know everything. But in Haiti, it's a place where like, you can be 90 years old, you're still learning, right? That's in their mind. And for me, it's going back to be me and eating my food, right? Eating my food, being with my people, soaking in the sun, not being inside all the time. I feel like I'm always inside here. Wanting to go out and not feel like I may expose myself to something I don't want to be exposed to, right? And that's really what I want to go back to. It's feeling like I know that place and I can be here and be my full self. That's really what I'm seeking as an adult. I'm 30 years old, I'm about to be 31. Everything I'm looking for is like everyone else, my happiness. I don't think it's gonna be easy because the comfort that I get here in the US, right? The air conditioning, the water running. Me, when I go in Haiti, I shower with my bucket. My bucket is full of water and I'm showering, but that's not a problem. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah.
And it's way less water that I use, right? Yeah. And then it's less bills. In Haiti, I don't have to pay for bills like this. Yes, you have your own bills, but it's not like you can, like, I know people who have no bills in Haiti. They have their home, they build their home, and they're eating every day, and they're very much happy. Me, I have my home here. And I have to think of it every first of the month. I have to think also of my electricity. I just want it easy for now. Like, I don't mind going back and find challenges because I probably will be bored if I don't find challenges in Haiti because I love being challenged. But what I'm looking for is just like slow down and take a step back and looking at like, what do I want in life and not be going that fast and not even have time to think, right? Yeah, that's really what I'm looking for in Haiti.
Yeah, and I think that that's an important perspective. Just for people maybe who are watching this and are not familiar with certain immigrant stories, I feel like that's an important perspective to have. And it's a big reality too, because even people, for example, like Ghanaian people that come here and they get older, they go and they retire in Ghana. Like they don't want to retire in the US because it's going to be stressful, like you said. And also that lack of community that exists here, I think it's something that's very like shocking for a lot of people and very frustrating, So I think I really appreciate that perspective. And now I wanted to kind of pivot a little bit and talk about your nonprofit, Women Full Voice. And so if you could just give us kind of a brief overview of the work that Women Full Voice does. I have had the opportunity and have been really blessed to get to work with Women Full Voice a few times. And it really has been extremely impactful to have those engagements. So I'd love for you to tell the viewers and my co-host what the work you do.
And I also actually kind of have a follow-up on that. Like, what inspired you to like get into that, uplifting women?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Haiti, right? Like patriarchal place. I just came back and I was just like, I can't believe these dudes think this way and they have no remorse to think that way, right? And that kind of fueled my passion to work more with women and girls. why I decided to do the whole Women for Voice thing is that I started working in the engineering industry, food industry, transforming food, right? I don't know if you guys know Law Bar. I was working for Law Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to be that person making sure quality is respecting the lines of da-da-da and blah, blah, blah,
Wow.
right? But I hated it because people were so mean. They didn't care about quality, right? And me, I'm such a detailed perfectionist. I know that's one of the things that's killing me. I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect. This is wrong, and I go crazy. I think you could see this at the fundraising event. I was killing myself for doing something wrong. And so when I left there and I started working with another company that making food for restaurant, it was the same thing. And I felt like this is so wrong. Then COVID hit. Lost my job, and I lost one of my friends that were working in Uganda. She was the ambassador of women and girls in Uganda. Her name is Esther Nakajigo. Then she lost her life here in Utah. She went for a little mini moon, and she died. So after this, I was asking myself, she's 25 years old. She did so much. She's impacted like over 5 million girls, women and girls. Like, what am I doing? I hate what I'm doing. I don't want to go back into these. What am I going to do? Then I said, I'm going to do a master's degree. I'm going to go for a master's degree. And I was like, what am I going to use it for? Because I don't want to be in these engineering work anymore. And I decided to just start my nonprofit, to reach out to my friend, Elizabeth, and she was working with girls also. And I was like, let's just do this, let's move forward with this. And my main thing is, I remember Essie told me, you experience all of these, but you just think it's normal because you can't do anything about it. Why don't you want to do something to not let women, to help women not go through that? And I was just like, that's not going to give me the money I want to be making. And I have a whole family to support, right? But when I go into the work, I started doing it. I was doing my master's, and I realized how much I love administration, how much I love helping people, how much I love seeing a smile on the girls and the women's face after something happened. I did the first thing that we did was a Christmas event. And it was $1,000, right? And we impacted 300 children with $1,000. And I'm like, I can do more of that. And the children were so happy, putting their little things up there, their teddy bear, and they were eating and playing. And I was like, I want to do more. Then I started the mentorship program. Then we started the menstruation is power, because menstruation is so something we don't talk about. Mm-hmm. And on purpose in Haiti, I was talking about menstruation all the time. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I'm going to have my menstruation. And you could see everyone was just crawling into their body. Why are you talking about this, right? And I tell them, why not? Because without it, none of us would be here, mm-hmm. right? Why don't we embrace that and make it a normal topic, and also stop teenage pregnancy? Mm-hmm. Teenage pregnancy it's the taboo of menstruation is because of teenage pregnancy in my mind, because they are sexually active, they don't know how to avoid being pregnant, yeah. And they don't even know when they are ovulating. Yeah. They don't know anything like this because it's not a conversation. How are they gonna know the cycle? Yeah. They can't know it. So the more I was doing it, the more I'm realizing I want to do more. Then I started the Reforestation Project. Then, now we are giving scholarship to different children. And now it's growing. In 3 years, we've impacted over 1,000 women and girls. Mm-hmm. And with less than $40,000, everyone.
Amazing.
It's not it's not because, we are funding most of it, right? So it's not like I have $1 million that I can put into that in 3 years. Yeah. So it's really me and my husband putting money together and do the work that we're doing. Mm-hmm. And, but when I went to Haiti also again last time, and I was hearing to plant 6,000 trees, we're going to need $2 million. I'm like, which dollars? Is it the Haitian one or the American one? Right? Because it makes no sense, because we just planted so many trees with I think it was a little over 20,000. And it's because I don't understand I understand the culture, I understand the people, but I don't know the field work anymore. Mm-hmm. I've never been a professional in Haiti, so I don't know it. So I'd find many different inconveniences that made me spend money I didn't have to spend. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the reasons why we went over our budget. But the thing is, for me, Women for Voice, it's my passion. It's what I want to do till I die, mm-hmm. right? This is Women for Voice. But at the same time, I don't want to be forgetting myself. One of the reasons I'm starting my business, I'm moving out of the U.S. because there's too many roadblock for Black people. Even making you questioning yourself, right? When you're studying something, people would be like, well, no, it's too much of a risk. Like, no, don't do this, just get a job and all these things. And they're telling you a path that is so easy. And I don't mind the easy path in the US, but I don't want it because at the same time, it's too hard mentally.
Yeah.
Right. And it's all the Women for Voice things for me. It's like, it's my soul, it's me, and it's my pride. That's what Women for Voice is for me.
So like the discouragement or like people saying this is gonna be hard, just find a stable job. Was it coming from like a community or your community or other people? Like who was it coming from?
I mean, my family would tell me don't invest, and this, and do this. But the most people you would share that with and say, hey, like, I'm going to do that. Because when you tell people what you're going to be doing in Haiti, they give you advice. You should be aware of this, that you can, this is the way I tackle it. Right? That's what they would be telling you. But when you ask any person in this culture, Black or white or Asian and Latinos, all of them, right? The first thing they tell you, like, why don't you just get a job, right? And it's because, like, the stake also here, when you lose so much, you can lose so much more right here. But like maybe in Haiti, when you're about to lose something, the community come and rally behind you and help you out and all of that. Probably that's why they are so supportive when you're going to start something. But like here specifically, every time I talk to someone and say, this is what I'm going to do, what do you think? How do you think I should go about it? The first thing they tell you, like, I would recommend you to get this job and then get this experience. Then this is it. Then when you realize 10 years pass and then you do nothing, and it would be even more difficult because you probably have taken new responsibilities, different other things, right? That's make it way harder for you to start what you want to start.
So like, I have a master's in nonprofits, and something that I noticed in the nonprofit sector, like there's no really a lot of Black, like African or immigrants, like executives. So like people will start their own like nonprofits, even just getting the money. Like if you're like a Black or immigrant, you're seeking for grants, it's usually harder for them than the people who are here. So like for like immigrants or refugees who are seeking to start their nonprofits to impact their own communities, can you like just tell us like the challenges that you went through to get started, to make your, organization work and stuff?
Yeah, I think like I saw one day, I saw something, I don't know where. I was watching something with my husband, and then the thing said like, start the mission, the money will follow. Yeah. And I was just kind of like, like it's so hard to get this thing going because, I have to be getting money from my pocket, right? Or like my husband's pocket and just like get it moving. The main thing I would recommend anyone, have a board. Don't have a board that don't understand you're studying something that's hard. Have a board that understand it's hard and they want to rally behind you. Writing grants, just look at it as like a 1-3% that you're going to get that. Don't focus on it. Beg your family members, beg them. Give me $5, please. Give me $10. Like, guys, you spend more on your nails. Like, give me that money that you're spending on your nails. Like, don't be scared to talk with the people that are around you. Like, they are the one that will help you to move forward with what you're doing. And like, one thing I would also say is, don't be scared to like say like, I'm gonna stop buying clothes and save that money to get this going. The trust in Black people is so low, you can't expect people to just trust you by starting a nonprofit. A lot of people think I'm getting paid for that because I'm so passionate about it and I'm always right there, here and there, But I'm not getting paid anything. I just get fulfillment. This is my payment. Feeling so fulfilled and so happy, right? That's my payment. But like with when you're starting it, just fucking like, if the money comes, the money comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Get the experience because that can even help you start like a business later on. It can help you find like someone that wants to invest in the nonprofit and even say like, I'm investing in the nonprofit and I'm gonna be paying you your salary because I know people who that happened for, And really look at like the challenges as like games. How do I find a solution for it? Damn, I'm getting frustrated for that, right? Like, and talk to people because other people can also bring solutions because they didn't have a nonprofit, but they face a similar problem in a business or at work or anything like this. Nonprofits is so hard. Hard, right? And us Black people, we just have to know the preconception is going to be like something we work against. It's just like, that's the reality of it. Being Black, like, I don't know. They'll tell me one day you see in the TV where they're saying like, oh, this black country, these black people. I've never seen it since I've been here, but on social media, but not in the TV. And the TV is what people draw much information from. That's what they think like the truth is coming from, the facts are coming from. So you just have to know like, I'm working toward against the torrent. I'm working against that. But like I believe in myself and I know what I'm doing and I know my goal, I know my vision and I know where I want to go, and push, keep it moving. 3 years, it's been 3 hard years where I've cried. Well, I've cried so many times. I called my assistant one day. I talked to one of my board members who joined and be promising so many crazy things. And then I was showing him, this is what I want to do and this is how I want to do it. We don't need a lot of money and you can do this and that. And he told me like, Senska, this is your nonprofit. Why are you expecting people to do your work? Whoop. And I was like feeling so and the way he spoke to me, the way he said so many things. And one time at the board meeting, I was telling people like, I think I'm going to have to start my own business. I'm going to have to spend less time in it. And this is it. And I was feeling so sad about it because I love spending more time on my own profit. And I kind of like teared up. And then in that meeting I had with him, he's like, and you started crying, thinking you're going to make people feel bad and everything. And I hold my confidence and I was talking to him and I was like, no, but you never speak up. And I tell him what I think, right? Mm-hmm. But after that, I called my assistant bawling. I was like, Father, this and that. Then the next day, I was like, what he said, some of these were true. I'm going to use that, put them in my pocket to do what I have to do. And some of them, you were just trying to put me down and make me feel bad. You're just a white person that don't understand me, don't understand what I'm doing, don't understand my people, don't understand my community. I'm going to just let this slide, but I'm going to take the good with it, right? And then yesterday we voted him out because he did, after the conversation, he never showed up. Well, he showed up a few meetings and everything, but like, you just have to understand some people will show up and you're bored and just play like they have a mission that they want to accomplish with your organization. But it isn't true because it's all about a show on social media. It's all about a show like, oh, I want to do good and I'm doing good, but like they are not putting anything. And that person did not invest not even a second into the organization to get an advice. Mm-hmm. No money, no advice. So why were you there if you had a mission to help, right? So you just have to be looking into like who really wants to help and how do I help you help, right? And it's really like the board members are key. Like I've heard it so many times and I'm saying it now. I used to say, no, I'm the key, right? Because I know the community, I know the community. I know what I'm doing, but it isn't true. It's the board members. And every time you have a active board, that have an incredible meeting, you come out like so powerful because you feel like you have a community behind you. And that's your board and your volunteers and your staff, Focus on recruiting volunteers. They love the volunteers. I love my volunteers. They are the best, right?
The board that do everything. Everything is happening behind the scene because you don't necessarily know what is happening publicly. Most of the work are happening behind the scenes. So you said one thing that I always just want to make sure that we're capturing it right. Start the mission, and the money will follow. Yeah. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't remember where I got that, but I remember like me and my husband. I can't remember, but. I remember to send this link to you, but we watched something and the person said that. Start the mission, the money will follow. And I remember me and my husband just look at each other like, yeah, yes, and it's just like it's a reality. Yeah. People would just believe in your mission and they will come and invest in it.
Yeah.
So let's ask, now that we're still on the topic of Women for Voice and your work in Haiti, I guess I can bring back my question now about the trees. What was, you said you're planting up to 20,000 trees?
6,000 trees. 6,000 trees, yeah.
Now. What was the mission or the motivation behind planting the trees? Was it like deforestation in Haiti and you wanted to start a reforestation, process? What was the mission?
And adding to that too, but adding to that, I wanted to just say that, I saw you posting that, there were schoolgirls who came and planted trees. There were people in the community who came and planted trees. And so in addition to the mission of the project, how did it feel for you to see yourself like back in your community, engaging your community to make your country better?
Yeah. I think for the trees, I am an agriculture engineer. So like my background is in that. I believe in planting trees. I believe in food. Like without food, we don't exist. It's just the reality of it. And like so my community did something incredible. Yeah, let's start from there. This is how the whole planting trees started. Last year, I was doing something to help with food and everything. So I was donating trees to women and then have them plant the trees that they can get fruits from it at one point. And then, like, when I heard what my community did in 1 year, they started a canal. That was our first canal that, in the north of Haiti. And it's, so I am from Wanamit, 5 minutes from Dominican Republic, 5 minutes from Dahabong. Dahabong is Dominican Republic, a city in Dominican Republic. So like the river that separates Haiti and Dominican Republic is called River Massacre. River Massacre, but it's because an amount of Haitians that were killed by Dominicans because of hate, because Dominicans don't like us. Then they started this canal, and then the president of Dominican Republic was saying like we shouldn't be starting a canal. Meanwhile, they have 10 canals on the river, and that was our first one. So the community say no, you don't tell us what to do. We are starting this canal. Then the diaspora of course put money in the community. People would just bring a sack of cement just to donate, to give something, or they would come and work for free. Meanwhile, we all know to build a canal, you need millions of American dollars. My community built a canal such a long canal with $700,000, everyone.
Wow.
Yes. And that river, there is barely any trees. So I was like, we can't have water without trees. And so in January, I went back and I wanted to check, the soil, look at what type of soil we have. And then if there is nutrients and all these kind of things, like what's going to happen. But there was full of trash on the river bank. So my goal was like, my people, we can have trash on the river bank. That is not okay, right? And we need to plant trees. So when I went back, it was so incredible to see the community rally behind me and just like be there, right? We will move trash on the riverbank, most of it, not all of it, because we didn't have time to do all of it, and I ended up leaving. And then we planted 6,000 trees total. And we also have 3 interns on the riverbank focusing on the water, looking at the quality of water. Is it improving? Probably we won't see anything improving right now. But we have someone focusing on trees, and we have someone focusing on soil. So, and before I left, I remember the community, a few people in the community reached out to me and said let's start a committee to make a follow-up on the trees that you planted. And I was just like, really? So you're not taking responsibility? And then they have the committee. And I remember I've seen texts go back and forth in the chat of the community, of the committee. And also the interns of the tree, the interns that are working on the trees is also part of the chat and also starting conversation. I think their next meeting is going to be next Saturday. So it was just for me, definitely there was frustration because they don't understand the Western system. Mm-hmm. The professional world is the Western world that created it, wanting it or not. They still don't understand it. And that creates frustration on my part because you're seeing the lack of system and they're working in that system. Probably why it's not giving result also in Haiti, right? Mm-hmm. Because they don't understand that system and that's what they are using, mm-hmm. right? So for me, it was just an incredible thing to be looking at, okay, this is what I can improve right now in my community. And I'm so happy my community is rallying behind me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but that's that. We have 6,000 trees planted and hopefully we have 83% survival.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, congratulations. It's such an amazing project. And I think just emphasizing on what you said about they're operating on a system that is not, it's a Western system, right? Mm-hmm. So they're operating on a system that they don't understand. No. It's not for them, wasn't created by them, And I think that also your example of they are taking responsibility for this project. They're taking ownership of it. I think that that is something that a lot of our countries kind of need too, is to be able to have ownership over the things that are happening in the country. Even in Rwanda, for example, they have a similar thing where they do cleanups on the streets, and they do different types of agricultural projects as well, but things that they as a community are responsible for. It's a community-based thing. And I think that that's like something that the Western system doesn't account for, and why it's so easy for Western systems to always like discredit like other countries, especially like Black and African countries, is, you know, they expect us to operate on a system that we don't understand and that is not for us.
It's not for us. It was not made by us.
Exactly. You know? Yeah. And I think that it's really incredible that you're able to do that work in your own community and that you're able to see such results. And I always tell you that the work that you do is very inspiring. And seeing you just kind of get up and be like, I'm going to do this and it's going to be successful, you know? And you have been extremely successful, and your network has been expanded, and you've touched so many lives and so many different communities, that I really think that you should be really proud of what you do. I know you are proud of it, but just that little extra boost that you should be proud of it, you know?
Trying our best.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing great. And I think that the work that Womenful Voice does is having an impact on the community in Haiti, but I think that it also achieves your mission of having an impact in the communities that you live in and that you have staff in, right? And that you have volunteers in.
We have like 25 countries in the organization last time I checked.
Wow.
And like most of them are volunteers because I can't pay like so many people, right? So like right now I think I have like 6 or 7 people paid in the organization. And like it's just, for me, it's not me that's really doing the work, right? It's really people from different countries that want to rally behind Haiti and help Haiti. And I say that all the time. Like, I studied, I had a master in business administration, and I focus on executive management. So I can understand how to do this. I understand that system. But then I go in the country and I'm hearing people say like, even if you don't do the work, pay them anyway. And I'm like, That's not capitalism. Capitalism is like you do the work and you get paid.
Yes.
And when you go in our like offices in Haiti, people barely go. They would go at 10 and they go back home at 12. And where is the input? If there is no input, there is no outcome, and there is no output, and the outcome's gonna look bad, right? And that's what I'm seeing in the community. But every time you're looking at the part where the people are really volunteering in Haiti, you do see result. Because they are doing something not for the money, because we are not made for money. We don't work with money. We don't understand money. The money is valuable because the world is turning into that now. But like we still believe in like, I can reach out to that person and they can give me their shirt to reuse, right? I can reach out to that person, they will give me a plate of food tomorrow. There was this girl that just came from Haiti and just moved here. And I had a surgery, and then so I couldn't cook, I couldn't do much, and my husband is working and all of this. And she's like, oh, I will send you food every day. And I'm like, okay, I don't mind paying. She said, no, I'll just send you food. And I'm like, America is expensive. She's like, why are you acting all white? And I'm like, what? She's like, we always send food in Haiti. Why are you acting like this? And she was confused. And then when I went back home, I'm realizing there is a food that we're always receiving every day at home. And I was like, why is this food coming here? There's like, oh, it's our neighbor that always send every day. It's a normal thing to be sharing food with your community. Yeah. If you made a very good food, people would just send something to their neighbor that they like a lot. Yeah. Right? It's just like, where are we hungry? We are not hungry. Yeah. Right? Like, and we really are there for each other. Yeah. So the communal thing, the volunteering stuff, like, I know we're going to lose it at one point, wanting it or not, right? But that's something I'm hoping that we held on as long as we can. Yeah. Or if we could reverse that to keep the money out and be supporting each other would be great. Yeah. Capitalism is rough.
It's very rough. We talked about that yesterday, so I definitely understand. I have just 2 kind of questions in regards to engaging cross-culturally, right? So you said that you have over 25 countries represented in your organization, which is amazing. But how has that been, working across different cultures, different languages, different time zones, and all of that? And then also, like your husband, we know him, and like you said, he's white. And so engaging cross-culturally too, and like in a marriage, I know a lot of times people, especially in America, people are like, oh, race doesn't matter, blah blah blah. And the thing about it is like, yeah, like it doesn't matter, but it does kind of, you know, because especially when it's like you're from two different cultures, right?
Yeah.
Even if
we're two at the end of the spectrum, both of us.
Even if your husband was black, like culturally, there are different things that are happening. So it's not necessarily just about the race, but the race does play a role in how you engage culturally. And so also, how has that been for him, if you can speak to that, and also for you, like navigating between your cultures? I mean, I've met your family, I met your husband, they're all great. And your mom was literally speaking Creole to your husband last time. Like, she was talking to him in Creole, and he was responding in English, but he was responding nevertheless, you know? So I can see that he's adjusted and like that he's integrated into the culture and accepts it. But I wonder how that was for you guys in the beginning.
Yeah. I'll go in the nonprofit first. Like, being like, you know, like 25 different countries, like you're working that line of understanding you have different people in there. And every time we're interviewing someone, the first thing we tell you is like, do you understand what that means? Because you may be working from someone, you may be from Taiwan, we have someone from Taiwan, and then we have someone from Nigeria, and they have to work together. But there is this thing in Nigeria where like people from Asia is mistreat them so much that there is already something that they are like, you know, I have to protect myself. You from Taiwan, maybe you're not racist, you're not that kind of person, you've never engaged in those kind of actions, but like you're gonna come your full self to that person, and that person may be a little like this, but like how do you respond to that? We'll ask those kind of questions. So far, we've had only one issue between like two different countries, and we ended up like talking it out, and it ended up being a laughing session because it was a misunderstanding. And my culture, it means this, and your country is mean this. So I meant it that way, but you understood it this way, right? And same thing for my relationship also. It's the same thing that happened all the time. I remember one time Riley's like, why are you always attacking me? I'm like, I'm attacking you. I was just like crying, bawling. Like, why would you say this about me? I'm not an aggressive person. And he was like, babe, I'm like, you've said this too many times to me. You're calling me, I'm attacking you and all of this. And he's like, no. Attacking here, it's like if you're challenging me, if you're questioning me, and all of this kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't like this attacking word. We don't use the attacking word because in my country, when you say attack, that means you're very aggressive, right? You're aggressive, you're being mean, or you're attacking the person, like personality, like who they are, right? In my relationship, there was this time also where we were like so disconnected, which happened in all marriage. You get disconnected, you get reconnected. And you just have to stick to it and understanding why you chose that person at the beginning, right? And I would be doing something and he would be looking like, this is what you're doing. And he would understand it differently, the way he understand it. Because it's from a completely different culture. There are preconceptions also that are affecting the way he understands me, right? And he grew up in a whole wide family, a whole full wide family, never had any black person. I was the first black person in the family. The questions they would be asking me also would have me like, what do you think you are? Why would you be asking me those questions? But me and my country, like, when people ask those kind of questions, I think they teach you to just accept the microaggression, I think, in our country, right? And now I don't accept it anymore. I challenge you back. Like, why do you ask that question? Where is that coming from? I don't mind understanding where you're coming with that question. But now to answer it, I need to understand because I don't want to reinforce your preconception. Because I may answer it exactly the way you're expecting it because your ancestor told you if I do this, it's because of that. Meanwhile, that's not what it means in my country. So if I go and answer it that way, you may be like, that's what they told me about those black people. You know, so and it's those things that, you know, my husband and I, we are aware of and we talk about a lot. It's just like making sure that I'm not reinforcing preconception, making sure that I'm not reinforcing like those crazy ideas of what black people, white, you know, not black, or Latinos or immigrants or like women or like Haitian, right? Because I represent all of these people when I'm talking. And my husband, you know, same thing for him, you know, like now he's going to Haiti. He spent time in Haiti. There are times like, well, I'm on this other side of Haiti and he's on the other side right there. And I know he's doing okay, right? Yeah. He speaks some little Creole and he loves practicing it. When he goes to Haiti, he'll speak it. When he's here, he'll go with his English, right? But when he's in Haiti, he has no choice but speaking the language. Yeah. And I'm not going to be there translating all the time because I'm here to enjoy Haiti. So if I'm spending time to be translating for you, you are the one enjoying it. I'm not because I'm here translating for you, right? And for him, he says like it's so much growth. He was telling me the other day, let's go on a walk in the sunset and everything. I'm like, sunset? It's so early. And he's like, babe, let's do it. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah. And he goes and be like, I want us to understand, to talk a little more in the sunset. And just like, because in the morning, you're so calm, you're so ready to start your day. So you're really more open to have like deep conversation. And he goes and say like, I love how you're making me grow. I love how you're making me like open my mind to things. And like, I can't believe the person I was before I met you. Because like, I believe I knew everything. I believe I was the smartest person alive. I believe I don't need a mentor. I can do anything I want. And, and you are humbling me. And in my country, if you're not humble, honey, you're going to struggle. People are going to be like, this one over there, right? Yeah. Because you're difficult in their mind when you're not a humble person, understanding that I can make a mistake, let me understand the other side. But when he was growing up, I know what I'm doing. I know what I understand. I don't have to understand a new way.
And that's the like individualism, right, of America. Yeah. Like, because I grew up in the U.S. too, so it's like we grow up like that, right? Like, I grew up in a Haitian family, so my exposure was different. But I mean, when you go to school and stuff, it's like you kind of have to be individualistic because everybody else only cares about themselves too. So in order to protect yourself, you have to do that, you know. And I think that like it's interesting to hear you have that perspective. There on social media, they're calling it the black wife effect.
I saw that, and I'm like, baby, if you let me change your wardrobe, your wardrobe would be great. Right? Yeah. Like, what's happening with my wardrobe?
he dresses well though. He's okay. But 7 years on, as you reflect to 7 years ago, maybe when you were first coming, and I mean, obviously like your upbringing and stuff is different because it's not like you were never exposed to certain things, right? But like, especially working as an agriculture engineer, did you ever have any like culture shocks, like being in the U.S. when it was related to culture or food and all of the above? Like, what were your biggest culture shocks now that you reflect on them?
I think all the above, right?
I think my biggest one is like when people would be like, that's not normal, therefore it's not okay. And you're like, we are all different. Why are you expecting me and you to be the same? Right? Like, so that's one of the things. And then like how much people would, the first thing, and Haiti would judge also, hands down, allow me to say that. But it's how they quick to judge, right? Or they would judge in their mind, not even questioning, like asking a question, like, oh, they said this? That's so wrong and everything. Or they go like, why? Ask a question, like, why do you think that way? And I don't mind telling you like, oh, in my country, this and that and everything. I know there are things in my country that are not good, and I'm letting those things go because I know the person I want to be. So I don't have to attach myself to know what's not good of my culture. And I do the same in the U.S. Anything that I say like, oh, that's wrong. Like, I love this in the U.S. I want to be that kind of person, right? And I'll do this. But the culture shock for me is like the racism. Like, if you're black, that is not normal. Most people here are white. Therefore, like, you or I don't know what, right? The other thing that shook me the most was I went to a hospital and they were asking me what am I identifying myself with if I'm black? I'm like, why does the hospital care? Then I go against the same thing. I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this whole thing? Like, categorizing me? And like, me, I'm one person that is like, I'm rebellious. I'm so rebellious. I don't do anything by the book. Don't be telling me it's supposed to be this way. It is supposed to be this way for you. For me, I have a new book. In my book, I have written it, and mine gonna go that way. It's as simple as it is, right? But like, it's understanding also that you have to humble yourself, of course, right? But for me, it's like the normal here, it's what's good. That's my problem. Because what's normal sometimes it isn't good. Right? Yeah. And that's one of my biggest things with us.
Definitely. Right? Thank you.
And another follow-up question I have, like, during the 7 years that you've been here, like, in what positive ways this country has impacted you?
Oh, I've traveled. I love traveling. Like, I think that's the part where I'm like, ugh, I feel so guilty. Because it's like those kind of money you could be using it and investing in other people that don't have the privileges that you have. Because I believe in sharing your privileges. I would say, I think each country, it's a person. Like it's different. I don't know how to answer that question, being honest, Yeah.
No
It's
worries.
a
I think
hard
you've
one.
kind of answered it throughout the
Yeah.
episode, though, in terms of like, I mean, even the opportunity to start your nonprofit and the way that your nonprofit has functioned and the board members and all of those things, right? Like those were exposures and experiences that you had here that were able
Yeah.
to support you in
True.
doing that. We love your husband, so like he's another positive thing,
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I think you kind of spoken to the things that you've gained.
I think my main thing, let's
Yeah.
say what I got really, it's understanding the Western world.
Yeah.
Because when you're looking at how the Western world, like the Western people, when they go in our country, they make us use their system. So they know the system, so they can manipulate our decision and they can tell us what's gonna come good out of it. Having administration on my side now, I can go into a meeting and manipulate it and make you believe you're gonna come out of something good. Meanwhile, I know it's gonna be a wreck for you because I understand that system, right? But you don't. You think you do, but you really don't. And it's probably why we are seeing in Haiti where like the puppet masters of our governments, right? They're going there, they are talking to these people, they don't understand what they are doing, they really don't get it because they are not part of that system, right? And then like the white people go and make them work for them, right? Making them believe they're gonna work for the community, or make sure that they understand their life gonna change if they do it that way, because they are making it sure that you are one individual. The individualism, they're taking it back to our country in one way or another, right? And that's the part for me is like understanding the administration and making sure I know I can go back and do something for my country by using their own system against them. It's what I think I used, the best that I get from like coming to America, being here in America. And the other things that I love about America is like how like you all have so many people from different country here, and I can eat so many food like from different countries that go into the country, right? Like, I think the diversity, I wish like they took advantage of the diversity, because every country, like every culture brings something so good they could make use of it in the country to improve it. So
Yeah,
that's
thank
for
you.
me.
Thank you for answering that. The reason why I should that is just like with all the immigrants and refugees following us, I don't want them to just always listen. Oh yeah, there's a lot of challenges happening in the U.S. that I'd rather not go there. Like if they are here, they're scared to take risks.
There are
So
opportunities
it's more
here.
like they need to also know that there are also good sides being here. There are also the experiences that you go through also help you grow
Of
into
course.
a man or a woman that
100%.
So that's the reason why I ask you these
Yeah,
questions.
of course. I can see that. And I think for me, opportunities can come at you and you take it and it can bite you, right? Because like there are opportunities that can come your way and you take it because you think that's a good way. Meanwhile, like you're being used, you're being taken advantage of. Any opportunities you're taking, you have to look and say like, I'm going in for that I can't get, me personally get
Yes.
that. And anything bad that's coming with it, I'm gonna let them slide, or I'm gonna deal with them when the time comes,
Yes.
right? This country is a great country on its own way, right? Well, like I said, we have our weaknesses and our strengths, and same for America. It has its, the good quality, bad things, and all of these. We have to be aware of that. But like, when you're coming here as an immigrant, you're coming for opportunities. Be there for what they took from your country. You're here to take that little money, send it back home, do a bank account back home, put it in there. Because like I believe at one point America gonna crash, because the way it's going, reparation, they will never be able to pay reparation to so many countries. There's no way. They won't be able to, right? But I do know as of for now, this is one place with the most opportunities in the world. And it's probably because they are like taking so much from other countries. They are bringing so much here, right?
Yeah.
I love America. If my husband was here, he probably would be like, I hate how you talk about it. But like, it's the truth. And I want people like, when you're coming here, you know what you're coming for. You already know the positives.
Yeah.
You just have to be aware of the bad, and you don't let that get to you.
Yeah.
And, I say that my mental health is so key for me. It's the reason why I'm moving out. But when it's come to opportunities,
Yeah.
I can't count.
And
Yeah,
how hard are
that's
you?
good.
I think the other thing to think about is like, how hard are you willing to work for those opportunities? How much are you willing to do for those opportunities? Because the opportunities are endless. But
Endless.
again, like in a capitalist society, you have to work hard.
You have to work hard,
And
yeah.
again, for people like us, we also have to be the best. You know, if you're going to take an opportunity, you can't take the opportunity and be mediocre. You have to take the opportunity and really make sure that you're going to utilize the opportunity. You're going to do and be the best at whatever it is you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's something that we all learn in a
Yeah.
way, right? Like even for those of you who maybe your parents are not here with you, or for your people like you and I who our parents are here, you know, I'm sure when you were coming, right, your parents told you like, yeah, you're going to America, so make something of yourself. Like it wasn't like you're going to America, you're gonna go work in a gas station. No,
Yeah.
you're going to America, you're going to go and get a degree. You're gonna
Yeah.
be the top. You're gonna make sure that you get good grades, that you get a scholarship, that you don't pay for like all of these things, right? And I mean, my mom is my mom. You know, she loves America. She's always like, this country she wouldn't have all the opportunities that she had if she didn't come to this country, you know? And she loves the country as she should, right? This country gave her the opportunities that she has. This country has given her a lot, you know? But like you said, I think it's important that you're also mindful when you're coming here, when you are here, that there are going to be challenges, but take what you can take from the challenge, move on and do better, and make sure that you also use the challenges to your advantage, right?
Yes.
It's so important. And I think that that's something that anybody who is new here, or even people who have been here but maybe they feel stuck in the challenges, right? And are not looking at the challenges as a way to be able to progress, you know? I think that that's always like the one part of the situation that it's easy to get stuck on when we're talking about America, is getting stuck on the challenge and not looking at the fact that, like you said earlier, it's a game.
Yeah, it's a game.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a real game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can I solve this problem to get to where I want to be? How can I use this thing to my advantage? And also, when you have those racist encounters, when you have those encounters that suck, you mentally, you mind bank them, right? And you know, okay, now I know that this is how certain people could look at me. Not everybody's going to look at me like this, but I know that certain people could view me like this. So that alters also what you do and how you do it, right? And should do it for the better, but it can be a discouraging experience. So
Yeah.
I think my last question for you is that in those people that find themselves in those discouraging experiences, right? Or who are maybe struggling to see the challenge as a game, you know, I think that one thing about people who have been in situations like you all and like my parents, you know, is that having to be resilient, it's not an option. Like you just have to figure it out. You have to learn a language, you have to learn a new culture, you have to do all these things. So there's a lot of resilience in those things. So for people who are in those challenges or who have been in those challenges and are feeling stuck or discouraged, what do you say to those people?
Yeah, it's part of the process. There are times where you will feel stuck, and there are times where you will be stuck. And I would say like you don't fail until you stop. It's when you stop that's when you fail.
Yeah.
Right. And if you find yourself in those situations, you need to have at least one person in your corner. Don't be thinking because the person is back home they can help with your challenges. Go talk to people back home because they also have experienced something similar back home. Like, don't be scared to talk to people, you know, because like they may be racist. Whoever why they are racist, they're human beings. They have a good side also. They don't have to be your best friend, you know, but they can be your resource, right? Resources is like human being, money, all of these other things that we have around us, right? And don't be scared to be stuck and just be, okay, I'm stuck right now. Let me take a deep breath. You know, like, okay, if I was home, what would I do? If I was this person, what would I do? If I had that opportunity, what do I need? I need that resource to get unstuck. Okay, where do I get it? Right? Because you need to find that solution. Everything is a solution. Life is problems. Life is made of problems. And we just need to understand problems needs solution. You feel stuck, get out of your head, because that's what always happens when you get stuck. You get in your head, oh my gosh, and this and that, and blah, blah. And you're just all of this. And especially if you're in a place where like racism is the head of everything, right? You just have to know, yes, I'm Black, I'm stuck in this situation, but I have this person in my corner. I have that resource. I have that knowledge, right? Or like, well, I don't need that anymore. I don't have to be putting myself through that. Throw it away. Move on. Find something else. Don't be scared. Like, I remember how much I used to cry when I was working as an engineer because they would attack you as a human being. I remember one dude, I was just talking to him and say like, no, you're not supposed to put the the pot, you know. I speak Spanish, so I was working with like Latino people, and like I said, like, you're not supposed to put the pot like this. You need to move it like this, and because they are big pots to make food for restaurants. And he goes and be telling me like, so what do you want me to do? And then I pass my hand and be showing him. He said like, don't be touching this. You're gonna make it dark again, and I need to clean it. Ooh. In Spanish, and I look at him kind of like. I started laughing. Then later on, I realized how much that hurt me, what he said. You know, but it's like you allowing those things. You allow it. You allow yourself to be stuck. You allow yourself to put yourself in that position and just like move forward. Don't be scared. If you're stuck, that's a stop. It's not the end. You're moving forward. Don't be scared. Like, it's okay to be stuck. It's part of the process.
Yeah, definitely.
What is our last part of the question? Was it the food part?
Yeah.
What do you want to accent?
Yeah.
But you can say in Creole to people.
So thank you, Senska, for joining us. We really enjoyed getting to talk with you today and hear your perspective about things. Like you said, you have a very strong perspective, and you don't think the same way as everybody else, which is so unique and so important, right?
Thank you.
I think that not having these different perspectives or not having people who think differently than ourselves, it kind of creates an echo chamber for us to all get stuck in. We all agree and we all have the same views and thoughts on things. And so it's nice to also hear your perspective on things and hear the way that you think about and process things as well. So thank you for joining us. We have a question that we like to ask everybody at the end of our interviews, and it's country specific. So it is,
Favorite food.
what is your favorite food from your culture? What's in it? And why should people try it?
Yay!
Yeah.
My favorite food is black rice. Black rice is, it's called like diri jonjon, which is like, you know, jonjon is a mushroom, right? And it's only from Haiti, nowhere else. You can go to Dominican Republic, which is the same island as you won't find jonjon. It's only in the south of Haiti that you'll find it. And so if you hear like black rice, you know you're talking about Haiti, right? The jonjon, so there's jonjon, there is peas, there is rice, and then we have our unique ingredient, which is a piece made of like garlic, green onions, parsley, thyme, clove, and then chili. Not chili. What do you call it?
Yeah, chili.
Chili, yeah. And then you mix it, then you have this little thing, then you fry them, you eat it. Why people should try it? Because it's so good. That's exactly why it's so good. And you'll find it nowhere else. Anywhere you see jonjon, it doesn't come from anywhere else but Haiti.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing for it.
Thank you.
Let's go to Haiti.
Yes, go to Haiti. Visit Haiti
Yes,
for sure.
please.
Don't be scared. Visit. One thing that we didn't get to talk about in the interview that I just really quickly, very quickly want to circle back on is that, you know, in conversations that you and I have had, we've talked about the cultural overlaps between like African countries and Haiti, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But talk a little bit about that and how that's impacted your identity as it is, and how it was also for you, like experiencing these similarities, your first time in Africa, all of these things. I think that this is an important part of who you are.
Yes.
And I just feel like it wouldn't be right to end this episode and not talk about that briefly, especially as it's relevant to a lot of Haitians and a lot of Haitian experiences.
Yes. I think like for us in Haiti, we still don't understand like how like we are from Africa, because like we close a little black country and we live in our world and be done, right? But like when I went to Kenya, right? I was in Nairobi, so I didn't see dirt. There was mainly made road and everything. But it was nice to see like black people. For the first time I've traveled to a country and I saw only black people. It was great. And I was like so excited. Then I went to Uganda. Oh my God. And I saw their farmers market like ours. That's where they go buy food. That's what we have. They make the same little thing that we make in Haiti. And I found food that we have in our country. And I was just kind of like, oh my God, like confused, right? Then last year, I took, not last year, this year actually, no, December, I went with a Nigerian friend in Haiti. My family, my friends, the people who were close to me, experiencing that, it was very intense for me and for them. Because we realized like, so there was a baby crying. And then she put her hands on she was like, put her hand and said like, we'll make you cry, we'll make you cry and everything. And I'm like, where did you learn that? I thought she saw another Haitian doing it. But she says like we do that back home. And it made us be like, oh my God, like this was passed down, you know? Like 100 years, we're doing the same thing. And we ended up having that conversation. My dad, me, friends and everything was just like, this is crazy. We were really kidnapped. We were really kidnapped from Africa to be here. And Cindy Mada has been like, I want to go to Africa. I'm like, which country? You know, Cindy Mada has been saying this. And for me, it's been very confusing. Well, at the beginning it was confusing, but now, like, anyone who asks me, are you African? Yes. Where are you from? From Haiti. But that's not from Africa, but we are Africans, right? Yeah. We are Africans. I always be saying, like, we are Africans now. And understanding that where you are from and be proud of it and know, like, over there, the African island, it's only black people over there. Like, you know, well, they are white too, right? Or mixed colors and everything. But, like, us Haitian, we are Africans. And then that pride you have in you is another thing that makes you feel so confident to being who you are and accepting who you are. Me, I'm always like, you know, maritet. I always have a head wrap in my head. Like, I love it. I love going everywhere with my head wrap because as soon as I show up, you know it's a black woman right here, right? You know, like, my last name, I took my husband's last name, like, just a few months ago, and I didn't want to take it because it's O'Donnell. It's so white. But, like, I realized Jean is, like, a French name also. Yeah. And I'm like, where is that coming from? Like, why are we Jean? And I realized the African Americans here keep saying we don't know our last name because it was stolen from us. And I realized the same thing that happened in Haiti because the biggest slave master was Jean. So most Haitians are called Jean. That's their last name. And you'll find Joseph and you find all those other ones. And it's because the slave master just removed our last name and put their last name and not the country's only last name that are white people's last name, you know? And I decided to just reject that one and keep the one of my husband because why not? I love him, but I don't love the slave master. Why am I going to keep that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So it's different to understand where you're coming from and just feel like this is me and my full self. Yeah. And there is nothing I can change and I don't want to change that black.
Yeah. Yes. And I think we talked too about how even like between Haitians and Ghanaians, like the names like Nana and these and other names and Labadi and Labadi Haiti, Labadiana, all these things are similar. And I think that even you sharing that also speaks to your relationship to Black Americans, right? Yeah. How culturally that history of being taken from a homeland, being given a name that doesn't belong to you but belongs to a slave master and all of those things. It's interesting to see how it's kind of like you're at the middle of these two cultures that kind of like we are all overlapping, but to see how you've kind of also been at the middle of that and gotten to experience all of that was really interesting. But I didn't want to not talk about that because I felt like it was really important to personalize your story and not talk just about the work and about the overall experience, but also about the identity part of it and how like all of these experiences encompass your identity, and it's a constant journey of learning, right? More about who you are and what your background is and what your history is. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for joining us. We're so happy to have you. Yes. And thank you all for tuning in. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Please be sure to also follow us on all social media platforms, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Follow them.
And also check out Women for Voice's website, womenforvoice.org, and check out the incredible work that Women for Voice does. Please check it out, and please also support them in any way that you can. Thank you.